let's talk about skills, okay? What kind of skills are necessary for you to become a GRC professional? Well, first things first, okay, you need to have a basic foundation knowledge of cybersecurity. You don't need to go all technical. You don't need to know exactly how firewalls or how encryption works, but you should know what they are in general. So that goes without saying. Now, when it comes to the actual skills needed specifically for GRC, first one here is going to be risk management, okay? You need to be able to identify risks, assess the criticality of those risks, and then think of ways how you can manage those risks or even mitigate them if possible. So risk management is one of the core fundamental skills needed to become a GRC professional. You also need to have a very strong knowledge of security frameworks out there. Security frameworks like your NIST as an example. Okay, you need to have a very strong knowledge of what these frameworks are and how you could potentially apply them. Now, you also do need to have some soft skills. One in particular will be communication skills. Now, when I say communication skills, I don't mean you have to be able to talk clearly or in a very kind of, crisp or eloquent manner. Obviously, that would definitely help, okay, for sure. But what I really mean by good communication skills is that you need to be able to translate technical jargon into business language. Why? Because most of the time, you as a GRC professional, you're not necessarily going to be communicating with technical people. You will be communicating with the business people, the business executives. They don't have a background in cybersecurity or computer science. They don't know all this technical jargon. So you effectively has to be a translator. You need to be able to speak in a way, the business language, that these executives would actually understand and appreciate the risks that the organization faces. And because of this, you also need to have business acumen, okay? You can't afford to be the regular IT guys that don't really know how the business works. Their job and their focus is just IT. No, you need to understand the actual business itself. You need to understand how revenue is made, how profits are made, and other things like that. Of course, this will be very, very important and will help you communicate effectively with those business executives. Also need to have good documentation skills as well as the ability to prepare an audit report.